Welcome back to the Scott Ballard Show here on the Warrior Sports Network. I'm Grant Wall, joined as always by Winona State head women's basketball coach Scott Ballard. And coach, 2 road games last weekend at Northern State and at Minnesota State Moorhead, and a couple games that you were in early, and they were close there in the second half. But both nights, those teams were able to make a run that put a little distance, and you weren't able to catch back up.
Sounds like we've heard that story before, right?
Yeah.
They are the top 2 rebounding teams in the league, and a year ago we played Northern State here. We won 49-44.
Mm-hmm.
It was a low-scoring game, and much the same way this time, except we couldn't score as many points. But Northern, we ran a combination defense against them, and what I mean by that is, we played some of their personnel man-to-man, and then played zone with the rest of our group, and it really created a lot of confusion for them, and they couldn't find any rhythm. They shot, if I remember right, they shot 27% the first half. We shot 21%. It was like pulling teeth to make a basket. But defensively, we did a good job controlling tempo. They're not an up and down the floor team either. But where they got us was on the boards. They ended up with 21 offensive rebounds. So our defense was good and was effective in terms of making them shoot a low percentage on their first shot. But we did not rebound very well out of that combination defense. And they got enough putbacks and second chance opportunities that we couldn't keep up offensively, scoring with them on for 40 minutes. But they're a very good team. They're ranked 23rd in the country. They're 1 game behind Wayne overall in the conference standings. I think they have a 3-game lead, first place in the North Division. So they're a quality team. They got their entire team back from a year ago. So we knew that was going to be a big challenge for us. And then the next night we played Moorhead. And, they're known for their big kids. They're second in the league in rebounding. But we played a lot of man-to-man defense against Moorhead because they've got they've got 4 really good 3-point shooters. And so, honestly, the first half we played about as well as we can play. What hurt us in that game was foul trouble. And, Abby Bush, our leading scorer, a person that we rely on heavily at the offensive end to either score or create for somebody else. She was in really bad foul trouble. Played 10 minutes first half, 8 minutes second half, fouled out. So she scored 14 points, but she couldn't get in the flow of the game, stay out there long enough to help us keep scoring with Moorhead. But it's in the last month. Ever since we've lost Tessa, teams have been ganging up on Abby defensively. They're playing Connor really hard on the perimeter, trying to take away her shot opportunities and limits them. And that means we've got to have other people step up. And Kelsey, sat out Friday's game, hurt her back in practice Thursday before we left. Didn't play half a game on Saturday. Tried to go through it. Katie Zepsic, was just coming off of a knee injury from the week before and had limited practices, and she gave us everything that she could give us over the weekend. But we are easier to guard now that people don't have to worry about the dribble drive from Tessa Wells. And some bright spots from this past weekend were the play of Tara Roloff, especially. She had a career high 16 on Friday night, and then piggybacked that. Yeah, she went up that with 23 or 24 on Saturday night, and really made some tough shots. Hand in her face, clock down to 1, shots off the dribble, 3-point shots. She showed what she's capable of doing. We've seen that from Connor the first weekend that we played without Tessa, but now teams became aware of that, and now they're going to be aware of Tara. So we've got to have some other people step up. Whether it's Kelsey Andrus, Callie Hackman started Friday night's game another freshman at Northern, and didn't have a big scoring game, but she showed at times what she's capable of doing off the dribble, and we're encouraging her to get more and more aggressive offensively. But you got to remember, she sat out for 3 weeks and missed 6 games in a row, and you can just go down the line. It's been brutal with the schedule and the injuries and whatnot. But we miss Tessa in a lot of different ways. First of all, we don't have fast break when Tessa's not in there. She really is good at pushing the ball. She's our best on-the-ball defender defensively. It gives us 5 more fouls to work with. She was one of our better dribble drive people, where she could make others around her better because she was a great passer, could get to the free throw line like Abby does. But we've had to play without that for 4 weeks, and on it we haven't won a game since Tessa went down. And I don't think that's just coincidence. I think it shows how important she was to what we did for 45 practices and a dozen games. But we're holding out for hope that maybe she'll be back the last couple of weekends of the season. It doesn't look good for this weekend when we go to Wayne and Augie, but that's a tough thing in concussions.
You've mentioned people who have stepped up, and people our teams are now taking away Connor. Abby Bush has had long stretches where she's played really well. Connor's had stretches where she's played well. Kate Hartman, Tara Roloff's had a great weekend. You've had a lot of different players who have stepped up and had really, really strong stretches. They just all haven't been at the same time. The point I'm trying to drive at is eventually these people are all going to have a good stretch at the same time, and that's going to make you a dangerous team.
Well, that's what we keep telling them, and that's what we keep striving for, to get better. And we haven't even come close to peaking yet, because we've been set back with the injuries and roles changing and whatnot, and it's really a challenge. And I'm proud of our kids for how they come to practice every day, because this gets heavy. I mean, we've won so much over the last 7 years that sometimes people take it for granted, and even some of our upperclassmen probably take it for granted. But this is a humbling experience. It's a learning experience for the younger ones. I've always told them that I'm more motivated not to lose than I am to win.
Yeah.
And we're all learning that firsthand right now. But it's a real gut check, and it's a real character check. And the most important thing is not how many times you get knocked down, but how many times you get up. And we've had a lot of heart-to-heart talks, and it all deals with trying to be tougher than the circumstances, and don't accept it, and don't get used to the losing streak and whatever. Just get ready for the next one, because when it ends, it's going to feel really, really good.
Right.
But winning is hard. It's a very difficult thing to do. You got to do a lot of things well over a long period of time. But then when you mix in all the injuries and stuff that we've had since Christmas, it's been very challenging, to say the least.
Yeah.
And but we'll just keep putting our nose to the grindstone and pushing ahead and hoping that good things are going to happen.
Absolutely. Well, that's all we have for this look back at this last weekend Warrior games at Northern State and MSU Moorhead. We'll be back with Coach Ballard later this week as he looks forward to the last road trip of the regular season for this Winona State women's basketball team.